Hi, everyone. Welcome to Florida Real Estate with Ellen. I am Ellen Jaffe-Jones, a former two-time Emmy-winning TV investigative reporter from Miami, and I love helping people find their dream in paradise. So I do that on this channel by showing you the amazing places there are to see and visit here in Florida. And what I want to talk to you today about is how my health journey makes me excel at real estate at the age of 70. Well, there's three things that I want to talk about. The first one is stamina. People always say that when I mention I've been a runner and vegan for the better part of 42 years, they go like, oh, your knees. All of a sudden they have a medical degree. Well, knees are just fine. I don't have any artificial anything. Being strong and being able to leave a little bit on the table when you're doing the third or fourth or fifth track event, and maybe you're running around the track a few times doing that, is all about knowing how to just keep going, but not so much that you blow out a knee or you strain your back or get injured. And so it is with real estate. Yes, during the feeding frenzy of a few years ago, up until just fairly recently, in the last, as recently as 6 months, where you had 18 offers and you had an offer that was 20, 30, 40, $50,000 over asking, and it still wasn't enough because you lost out to somebody who had cash. So those are the kinds of issues where it's important to at least stay in the game. And the last closing that I did with some buyers, it was really pretty amazing. We lost out on a deal, and they were not cash, but they came in at asking, and this was just like a couple of months ago, and it still wasn't enough. But we stayed in the game, and that's where the stamina comes in. It would have been easy for them to just fold up everything and say, oh, you know what, interest rates are going up, can't afford it. And I did have some people who did that, but they didn't. And they just moved into their property this week, and they sent me a text saying, we are so glad we did it. We loved it. And thank you for your persistence and negotiating in what they felt was a fair deal. So pretty cool stuff to be able to. Then the second quality that transfers from my healthy lifestyle is being competitive. I mean, I like to say I'm not really competitive. I just started out doing all this to show you can do it on a vegan diet, and you can look like this at 70, and you can have this incredible flexibility that my physical therapists say they've never seen in somebody my age. And, you know, all these different now people, groups, physical therapists, the National Senior Games has studies, of course, that you can participate in. So, you know, I do try and do that as much as possible. So this whole idea of being competitive, I like to say I'm really not. I'm just doing this to show you can. But I also recognize that when I'm getting close to the finish line, I am giving it all I got, but not to the point where my motto in my fourth book, Vegan Fitness for Mortals, is finish without injury. Because I coached high school girls cross country and track. And even though I was just an assistant coach, I saw these kids just loved running, and they would go all out on these asphalt, which is really the same as concrete tracks, and then, you know, just blow out a knee or get shin splints and then end up with stress fractures. And that's no fun. And that can derail your running career physically, and sometimes more importantly, emotionally and mentally for the rest of your life. So it's important to kind of keep that competitive edge, but not so that you are a crazed person. And when I work with my clients, I'm always about finding out what they want and how far they want to push things. I am not, because I was a TV consumer reporter, investigative reporter, I am not high pressure sales. I mean, I did stories on those kinds of people, and I am not one. So the whole idea that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. My job is to find out what you really care about and how important is it to be as close to the water as you can on your budget, which is usually what most people who move to Florida are talking about. And when they get real and understand that for their budget, maybe they're not going to get as close as they might have imagined, you can still get in a car and drive, at least in the Sarasota area, 15, 20 minutes from some very reasonably priced condos and homes and you can still be at the beach in that amount of time. So the competitive edge does definitely kick in for sure. And, but, trying not to, because I recognize for my clients, this is like one of the most stressful experiences they're going to go through. So a lot of hand holding, and it's going to be okay. And if this one doesn't work out, check out my website, ellenjaffejones.com. And there's another one coming along. Lots of properties now, especially as the market switches, as we are seeing, from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Not completely there, but lots more inventory now. And then the third quality that I think is really important, that I transfer from my running lifestyle, is losing. I don't always place in a race. It does seem to be happening more as I age up, because people who used to compete against me 10, 15 years ago aren't even running anymore, especially, sadly to say, a vegan diet is very anti-inflammatory. I'm not sad to say that. But as a result, I don't have arthritis. And animal protein, you can Google this, don't take my word for it. Unfortunately, even the Arthritis Foundation, a very mainstream organization, says if you want to reduce your symptoms of arthritis, get rid of the animal products in your diet. And that includes dairy, which would be cheese and butter and all that. It's not just the flesh, the animal products themselves, the meat, which would include chicken, fish, fowl, all of that. All animal products. And for whatever reason, and there's a nice long explanation of this online about why animal protein causes inflammation in the joints. And so the vegans typically kind of age up, and we're just not getting the arthritis that can cause people to slow down and get chronic conditions that might even lead to joint replacements. And I have met women, again, that used to beat me like crazy 15 years ago, and they aren't even running and have many of these issues now. So I say this kind of to the younger generation, to just as a heads up, if you want to grow up and be like me, which I get all the time, that's my biggest tip. So but still, losing is something that is a good skill to have, no matter what kind of athlete you are, and it transfers well into your profession for sure. And the reason is, if you're a good loser, you just brush yourself off with your clients and go, you know what, we're going to go look at another property. And that's certainly, the odds are that's going to help happen when you're a realtor. So I hope these have been some inspirational ideas for you, not just in real estate, but life in general, how to keep doing this at 70. Florida is an amazing place with all its craziness, insanity, and many things that you can find wrong with it. And certainly there are lots of videos out there that will scare the bejesus out of you. But, we live in challenging times. So where do you want to spend the last third chapter of your life? So if you have found value here, I hope you will like and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and notification button so you do get an alert every time I got something new and cooking out here, because I'm really trying to crank it out now. I pledge to you to donate at least 10% of my commission to my favorite or your favorite nonprofit. So be sure and drop that down below. Hopefully it will be a vegan nonprofit, but I'm certainly open to discussion. So let me know what other stories you'd like to hear and drop them in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Gotta run.